first bit of advice would just be to make sure you're looking at your audition material regularly leading up to your callback. What you definitely don't want to do is get your callback and then let it sit for 3 or 4 weeks and then, try and dig it back out on the day of the audition. So just regular, consistent practice, even 15 to 20 minutes a day, is better than, piling in a whole bunch of practice time right before the day of your callback. The other thing we're going to ask you to do that you didn't have to do for your initial audition, your screening audition, is sight reading and scales. So you can pull up scale sheets for your instrument just with a quick Google search, or you can, if you have a private teacher, I'm sure they have plenty of resources as far as scales and scale books. And then sight reading, that's as easy as just asking your director for new music or a private teacher for new music, and just trying your best to work your way through it without stopping, because that's really what we're looking for, is how well can you take this new piece of music that we're going to throw in front of you, look at it for a minute, and see, can you work your way through the notes and rhythms in a fairly fluid manner. So that would be my advice for anybody getting ready for a callback audition for the instrumental department.
Hey everyone, congratulations on your callback. Here's a few recommendations from the mariachi department. Just in general, make sure you're practicing your music very slowly and then gradually take it up to tempo. For the mariachi students coming in, make sure you have a recording you listen to and listen to it over and over as much as you can. You should have a favorite recording of all the selections that you are required to play. Good luck and hope to see you soon.
What I am looking for in an audition is a certain level of seriousness. So you can communicate that through several means. The most important mean is you being ready with your music, which actually includes not just being able to play the music very well, but also having your music, having a clean copy of the music, having it organized in a book or in a binder, certainly never having loose sheets of paper flying about, which is a common occurrence at the auditions. Another way that students can communicate that they're serious about what they're doing is the way they look. No one needs to dress like they're going out to the opera, but don't come to the audition wearing Crocs or shorts or jogging pants. And so, just a nice set of pants and slacks will do. I kind of sometimes describe that as your Sunday's best. And finally, when you come to the audition, the director is making a calculation at that point. And the calculation is not purely musical. The director also has to see, is this person open to engaging with me? Am I gonna be able to provide this person with instruction? And are they gonna be open and receptive? So if a candidate comes in and never looks the director in the eye, or is, when asked direct questions, they just provide one-word answers, that leaves the director with a lot of mysteries about that student, and it's probably not beneficial for that student's chances.
I think the most important thing for people auditioning for orchestra, at least, is to keep in mind that the fundamentals are the most important thing. I think people get caught up in wanting to play their piece just like perfectly, just exactly right, and not making any mistakes, and thinking that if they have a little mistake that, I'm done with, I'm not gonna make it. But honestly, having a great sound, like making a great sound on your instrument, and having good fundamentals, like being able to see that you have a good setup, those are honestly just as important as how well you play your piece, to me, because that is about the potential. So if I can see that potential for you to be successful, then I might be willing to take a chance on that student, you know, versus just like someone who comes in and plays it perfectly, you know, who's just sort of, you know, not automatically, but who would get in because they did a really great audition. But there are people that we are willing to take chances on if we see that you have the right fundamentals and a willingness to learn and work hard.
And what I'm looking for horn players, and the horns that I will be listening to are for saxophones, trombone, and trumpet. First of all, clarity. We're listening for tone, good tone, and also good time. And for example, I know for all the auditions, there's a list of scales that you should know. And so make sure you know those scales. And if you can play them 2 octaves, fine. I know, for example, for some scales, saxophones can play 2 octaves, and maybe for trumpets or trombones, you only have a range of 1 octave or so. But you know, make sure that you know your scales thoroughly and can play them with good time. And then also for the pieces that you choose to play for us, pick something. I'd rather hear something that you can sound good on than some piece that's way beyond your ability to play. So just keep that in mind. So maybe pick something that's a little bit challenging, but something that you know you can play with a good tone, and you'll be able to get to the hardest parts and still sound good. You know, you just don't want to sound like you're struggling. And on a related note to that, sounding like you're struggling, it's very common for someone to come in and get, you know, become a little bit nervous. So we can hear the difference between that. So, you know, but anyway, pick something that you can sound good on. And also make sure that you pick what we're asking you to play, like some kind of, sometimes, you know, we need to hear for the horns, even though maybe you're more into jazz, we need to hear a classical piece of some kind, usually like at least a class 2 solo, okay? And if you don't know what that means, you can ask your teachers to help you with that, okay? So, and now, so anyway, clarity, that's the other thing. And this goes for everyone, be it horns or rhythm section players. We want to hear clarity in your sound. Can you sound clear? All right. When I'm listening to pianists and guitarists, I want to hear if you have some understanding of playing. Like for example, if you're playing a C major 7, I'd rather you not play it in root. If you're a pianist or guitarist, in root position where you have the C, E, G, and B. I'd like to hear a different voicing of that. And so that's like, it's kind of hard to go into that, but that's why it's very important if you could have a jazz teacher to kind of help you with that understanding, okay? And being able to, for example, see if you have music put in front of you where there are no single line notes but only chords, can you construct, can you play in time and comp over those chords? And I hope when I say comp that doesn't sound confusing, but there's certain things in jazz you just need the help of a teacher, and sometimes a private, you know, your band director can help you a lot, but often, in particular for rhythm sections, it's very important to have a private instructor, someone who is a pro at your instrument. So if I'm listening to a bassist, can you read? Can you read single lines? But then also, can you, again, if you were given a set of chords in front of you, could you construct a bass line that would fit those chords and play in time? So this may sound like a lot, but you know, I'll be honest with you, most of the people who audition for us in jazz have had some experience already. So this is not the place, like if you want to just pick up jazz to come here, you already kind of need to know a bit about what you're doing, okay? So, and because the others who are auditioning will have that knowledge, okay? So, and then for drummers, I'm always, and this is really for everyone, but everyone needs to play with good time. Okay, and then when I ask you, I will probably ask you to play a variety of feels, like a swing beat, maybe a medium swing and an upper swing. Okay, I want to hear if you can play in a way that sounds like you've listened to the recordings and you're not just playing the way it's maybe written out in a book. Okay, again, this is where a private instructor can help. You need to know a variety of beats, how to play a bossa nova, a samba. I really like to ask my drummers to play a samba, and there are varieties of sambas that you can do. So, and then also, can you play time, say for 8 measures, and then solo for 4 measures, and then play time for 8 measures? Do you have the ability to go from keeping time and soloing, without losing your place? So that's a lot. And anyway, a couple of things. The big words: clarity, sound clear, have a great tone, and play with good time. And I highly encourage you to get private instruction on some with a teacher who's really either a jazz musician or jazz friendly. So I hope that helps.